Hello guys, in this video we are going to be working on NS GEC final exam paper. So this is NS GEC final exam paper. Okay, and without wasting any time, let's go ahead and start working on our set of questions. So we'll start with section A. We'll start with section A. Right? So as we all know, we know that these are multiple choice questions. So we'll be given a question and then we'll also be given options that we need to choose the correct answers from. Okay, so we'll start with question one. We'll start with question one. So question one says that which of the following is a non-contact force? Which of the following is a non-contact force? And we know that a non-contact force, it does not require physical contact. And if we check the forces that we are given here, the one that does not require physical contact is D, which is electrostatic force. So electrostatic force does not require physical contact. So it does not require physical contact. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question two. So question two says that an astronaut has a mass of 70 kg on Earth. So now our question says that what is the relationship between the mass and the weight of the astronaut on the moon? Okay, so we all know that mass never changes, but weight decreases with lower gravity. So mass never changes, but weight decreases with lower gravity. So our answer will be C, which says that the mass will be the same and the weight will be less because mass doesn't change. So mass never changes, but the weight decreases with lower gravity. Okay, so our correct answer will be C. And then next, we are given a statement which says that lightning is a giant electrostatic discharge, right? So now our question says that what precautionary measures should you follow when you find yourself in lightning storms? Okay, and we all know, guys, we all know that lightning strikes tall objects. So being lower is safer. So here we all know that lightning strikes tall objects. So being lower is safer. Being lower is safer. Okay, and then our answer will be D, which says that become the shortest object. So our answer will be D, which says that become the shortest object. And don't forget, guys, don't forget to also subscribe to the channel. You can subscribe to the channel and then also let me know where you are watching from, the province that you are watching from. So you can just comment subscribed and then also state the province that you are watching from. And then I will send you part B of this question paper. I will send you part B of this question paper on the comment section. So after you have subscribed, so just comment subscribed and then state your province, and then I will come and paste the link to the part B question paper. Okay, on the comment sections. So now let's move to our next question. But before we move to our next question, just like what I was saying, that will also help the channel grow and it will also help you prepare for your final examinations. And then when we post new content, you will be notified. So now let's move to question 4. So question 4 says that what forces are being exerted on the bag above? What forces are being exerted on the bag above? So we can see that the boy's arm pulls up and gravity pulls the back down. So the boy's arm pulls up and gravity pulls the back down. So our correct answer will be C, right? Because C says that the force of gravity and the boy's muscular force on the back. So the boy is pulling the back up, but gravity is pulling the back down. So our correct answer will be C. Okay, and then next we will move to question 5. Next we will move to question 5. So question 5 says that what is the magnitude and direction of the net force? What is the magnitude? What is the magnitude and direction of the net force? So we can see that we have 60 N to the right and 50 N to the right and 10 N to the left. So our correct answer will be A. Our correct answer will be A. Okay, and then next we will move to question 6. And then question 6, we can see that we are given a statement which says that a man rubs a balloon on his jersey and the balloon obtained a negative change. So now the question says that how did the balloon obtain the negative change? Because only electrons transfer during charging. Because only electrons transfer during charging. So our answer will be B, which says that electrons were transferred from the jersey to the balloon because only electrons transfer during charging. So that is our answer for question 6. And then next we will move to question 7. So question 7, we can also see that we are given a statement. We are given a statement and then given equation. So our statement says that electric cells supply energy needed for electrons to move around an electric circuit. And we can see here that fruit cells, for example, lemons can be used as electric cells. Okay. And then our question says that why can lemons be used as electric cells? Because acid juice allows ions to flow, which creating electricity, So acid juice allows ions to flow while creating, which then creates electricity. So our correct answer will be A because A says that the lemon cells have an acid juice which acts as an electrolyte. So our correct answer will be A. And then next, we will move to question 8. So question 8 says that, so we can see that we are given a diagram here. So we are told that the diagram shows an electrode made up of an X metal placed in an X plus solution. And then we are also told that while a Y metal is placed in a Y plus solution. So the two half cells are connected by a U a U-tube salt bridge, and X and Y metal plates are both connected to the emitter. So that's what they are saying. That's what they are saying. So what they are saying is what is happening on the picture. We can see that we have both X and Y, and then we can see that X shows a negative sign while Y shows a positive sign. So the question says that what will be the direction of the electrons in the electrochemical cell be? What will the direction of the electrons in the electrochemical cell be? And we can see that this is the universal direction of electron flow in a cell. And the answer will be A, which says that electrons will flow from the anode to the cathode, right? Because this is the universal direction of the electron flow in the cell. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 9. Next, we will move to our next question, which is question 9. So question 9 says that define what the electrical resistance of a conductor is. So we know that resistance slows down electric current. So we know that resistance slows down electric currents. So our answer will be D, which says that an opposition against the movement of change, which is that an opposition against the movement of change. And then next, we will move to question 10. So question 10, we can see that we are told that the table below shows the results of an investigation on how different lengths of a conductor affect the resistance in a circuit, right? So we can see that we have different conductors. So we have X, W, P, and Z. Okay, and the question says that what is the relationship between length and the resistance of the conductor? So here we can see that more length means more internal opposition. So more length means more internal opposition. So our answer will be B, which says that the longer the conductor, the higher the resistance. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 11. Next we will move to our next question, which is question 11. So question 11, we can see that we are given the diagram below that represents a circuit with a battery and three resistors connected in series. So we can see that the R stands for resistor. So these are resistors that they are referring to. So now the question says that what is the total resistance in the circuit? And we know that the series resistors, we can see that we have two, we have three, and then we also have four. And if we add those, we can see that our answer will be 9. So the correct answer will be C. Will be C. So we just add 2 plus 3 plus 4. 2, 3, and 4. And the correct answer will be 9. And then now we will move to question 12. Now we'll move to question 12. So question 12 says that the diagram below shows the investigation of how an increasing number of cells in parallel affects the brightness of the bulb in a circuit. So we can see that we have figure 1, figure 2, and figure 3. And the question here is that what happened to the voltmeter reading and brightness of the bulb in the sketches as the number of cells increased? Okay, so we can see that cells in parallel do not increase voltage. So cells in parallel do not increase voltage. So our answer will be D, which says that the voltmeter reading and the brightness of the bulb remained the same as the number of cells increased because cells in parallel do not increase vol- voltage. Okay, and then now we will move to our next question. Don't forget, guys, to comment with so don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel, and then after you have subscribed, just comment with your province, and then I will paste the paper of your province on the comment section. Okay, so now we will move to question 13. So here we can see that the circuit diagram shows a battery, a switch, and three identical lamps, which are A, B, and C, connected in parallel. So here the question is saying that which of the following best describes the parallel circuit if the switch is closed? If the switch is closed. And here we know and we can see that parallel circuits splits the current into branches. So parallel circuits splits the current into branches. So the correct answer will be A, which says that the flow of charges happens through multiple pathways. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 14. So question 14, we can see here that the diagram shows three identical light bulbs connected to a cell. Three identical light bulbs connected to a cell, right? So the question is saying that which one of the following statements is correct? Which one of the following statements is correct? So we can see that these bulbs, they are all identical and correctly placed. So we can see that these light bulbs, they are all identical and correctly placed. So the correct answer will be A, which says that all three bulbs will have the same brightness because they are all identical and correctly placed, right? And then next we will move to our next question, which is question 15. So here we can see that we are told that the circuit diagram shows two identical cells and bulbs connected to ammeters. So we have A1, A2, A3, and A4. So these are ammeters. So now the question says that which ammeters will have the same readings. So we can see that A1, A4. So we can see that A1 is equals to, we can see that A1 is equals to, so A1 is equals to A4, and A2 is equals to A3. So these pairs sit on equal parts of the circuit. So this sits on equal parts of the circuits. So our correct answer will be A, which says that A1 and A4, and then A2 and A3, because A1 is equals to A4. And the explanation for this is because these pairs sit on equal sits on equal parts of the circuit. Okay. And then next we will move to question 1.4. So question 1.4 says that we can see that we are told to study the following circuit diagram. So we are told to study the following circuit diagram, right? So we can see, and then after the question then says that how would the reading of voltmeters 1 and 2 be compared to the reading of voltmeters 3? So you can see that this is our voltmeter 1, this is our voltmeter 2. So they're asking us how will voltmeter 1 and 2 be compared to voltmeter 3. So we can see, right, that so we all know that voltmeter 1 and 2, voltmeter 1 plus voltmeter 2 results in voltmeter 3, right? Results in voltmeter 3, which means that voltages add in a series circuit. So this basically means that voltages add in a series circuit. So the correct answer will be C. The correct answer will be C, which says that the sum of the readings in V1 and V2 will be equal to the reading in V3. So the sum, they are referring to adding. So if we add V1 and V2, this will result in V3, right? And then next we will move to question 17. So question 17 says that study the following diagram. So we can see the diagram that we are given. And the question now then says, what proportion of the current will flow through the 12 resistor? What proportion of the current will flow through the 12 resistor? Okay, so we know that higher resistance gets a smaller share of current. So higher resistance gets a smaller share of current. So the correct answer will be 1 over 3, which is our C, which is our C. Right? And then next, we will move to question 18. So as we can see the potential difference of each cell is 1.5 V. And the question says that what is the potential difference across the battery if the cells are doubled? If the cells are doubled. So we know that two cells in a series add their voltages. So two cells in a series add their voltages. So the correct answer will be C, which says that the potential difference of the battery will be doubled. Will be doubled. And the reason is that two cells in a series add their voltages. Okay, and then next we will move to question 19. Next we will move to question 19. So we can see here that the picture shows illegal electricity connections at a substation, right? So now our question is that what negative impact does this kind of connection have on the community? So we know that illegal connections draw too much current, which results in power failure, which results in power failure. So our correct answer will be C. No, it's not C. It will be yes, it's C. So it's C. So it overloads the system, which leads to power failures. Okay, and then next we'll move to question 20, which says that what is the function of the live wire in a 3-pin plug? So the answer for this will be A, which says that the current is supplied through the live wire to the appliance because live wire carries electricity into the appliances. So live wire carries electricity into the appliances. So the answer will be A. Our correct answer will be A. Okay. And then next we will move to our next question, which is question 21. Which is question 21. So question 21 says that what is the main source of electricity in South Africa? So we know that South Africa mostly uses coal-fired power stations. So our correct answer will be B, which is coal. Our correct answer will be B, which is coal. Okay. And then next we will move to our next question, which is question 22. So here we are told that about 5% of South Africa's electricity is generated by nuclear power stations, which use a metal called uranium. So about 5% of South Africa's electricity is generated by nuclear power stations, which use a metal called uranium. So the question here is that when is heat produced in the nuclear power stations? So we know that splitting atoms releases large amounts of heat. So the answer will be B, which is that nuclear fission, during nuclear fission to heat water. Okay, and now we will move to question 23. So question 23 says that which energy source will be sustainable and has the least negative impact on the environment. Okay, so we know that clean, renewable, and least harmful to the environment will be solar, which is C, will be solar. So this one is the one that is safe on the environment. And then next, we will move to question 24. So here we can see that we are told that the graph shows the use of electrical appliances in a household over a period of a month. And we are told that the total energy consumption is 330 kilowatts. So here, question 24 says that what is the amount of energy used by the computer? What is the amount of energy used by the computer? So let's check our computer. So it is 79.2 kilowatts. So it is 79.2 kilowatts. Okay, so that's 79.2 kilowatts. And how did we get the 79.2 kilowatts? It's very easy. It's very easy. So we took the total number of kilowatts, which is 330, and then multiplied by 24%. And then we got 79.2. So that's how we got the 79.2. And then next, we will move to question 25, which says that what does kilowatts stands for? What does kWh stands for? And then we all know that this stands for kilowatt hour. Kilowatt hour. So it's the K, kilo, and then the W, watt, and then the H, hour. Okay. And then next, we will move to our next question, which is question 26. So question 26, we can see that we are told that the solar panels in in solar geysers consider consist of many solar cells, and then when the photons or light particles hit the solar cells, they cause some reaction. So they cause some reaction. So now the question says that what reaction will take place when the photons hit the solar cells. So we know that light knocks electrons. So light knocks electrons loose in solar cells. The correct answer will be B, which is that electrons are then released. Okay, and then next, we'll move to question 27, which is that a high a hair dryer of 1200 watts is used for 30 minutes and the municipal tariff is 1 rand 40 per kilowatt hour. So now we are told to calculate the cost of the energy consumption of the hair dryer. Okay, so this is question 27. So this is question 27. So we can see that our energy will be equals to 1.2 multiplied by 0.5 multiplied by 0.5. So we first need to convert these minutes into hours, because here remember we are dealing with kilowatts hours, meaning that our minutes or our time needs to be in hour. And how do we convert from minutes to hours? We divide by 60. So we'll come and say 30 minutes divided by 60 and we'll get 0.5 hours. Okay, and this basically means that our energy will be equals to 1.2, the one will be equals to the 1200 watts, which is 1.2 multiplied by 0.5, and this will give us 0.6 kilowatts hour, which we then multiply it with the rate, which is 1.40, and this will give us 0.84. So the correct answer will be D. Right? And then next, we will move to question 28, which says that what is the most effective and sustainable way of reducing energy consumption in a household? So question 28, we can see that LEDs use far less energy than normal bulbs. So the correct answer will be A, which is that make use of LED light bulbs. So the correct answer will be A. And then next we'll move to question 29, which is that which is the most correct statement regarding solar geysers? Which is the most correct statement regarding solar geysers? So we know that panels contain metals and chemicals harmful if not managed properly. So the correct answer will be D, which is that panels connection to solar geysers have dangerous pollutants. So the correct answer will be D. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 30. Next, we will move to our next question, which is question 30. So, question 30 says that in which layer of the lithosphere is magnesium found? Right? So, we know that the mantle contains large amounts of magnesium. So, the mantle contains large amounts of magnesium. So the correct answer will be the one that has to do with the mantle. So the correct answer will be C, which says that semi-solid mantle, contains because mantle contains large amounts of magnesium. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 31. So here we can see that the diagram shows the interaction amongst space of the earth. And our question says that which statement best represents the interaction among space during a volcanic eruption? Okay, so we know that hot lava hot lava leads to glaciers melt, and then so hot lava leads to glaciers melt, and then leads to floods, and then also leads to stream side co- communities. So the correct answer will be C. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 32. So question 32 says that what is the lithosphere? What is the lithosphere? Okay, and we know that lithosphere is equals to crust plus upper mantle. So the correct answer will be A, which says that the lithosphere is the space that contains all cold, hard, and solid land and the semi solid liquid under the crust. And then next, we will move to our next question, which is question 33. So question 33 says that what is the chemical equation for the reaction taking place when iron reacts with oxygen? So the correct answer is D. This is the correct equation. Okay. And then next we will move to our next question, which is question 34. So question 34 says that how are igneous rocks formed? How are igneous rocks formed? Okay, so we know that this slow cooling forms large crystals. Okay, so the correct answer will be A, which says that plutonic rocks results when magma cools and crystallizes slowly within the earth crust. So the correct answer will be A. And then next we will move to question 35. Next we will move to question 35. So question 35 says that what are the four main elements in the earth's crust? So the four main elements in the earth's earth's crust are aluminium, aluminium, oxygen, silicon, and iron. So the correct answer will be C. And then next, we will move to question 36. So question 36 is that the picture shows different stages of the rock style. The picture shows different stages. So you can see that the first stage is this one. So this is the first stage. And the question says that what are the processes that occurs at different stages? One, two, and three. So we can see that the order forming is sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous rock. So the correct answer will be A. The correct answer will be A, which says that compaction and cementation, high temperature and pressure, and then crystallization of magma. So the correct answer will be A. And then next, we will move to our next question, which is question 37. So question 37 says that we are given a statement which says that the atmosphere of the Earth is the layer of gases retained by the Earth's gravity that surrounds the planet and forms planetary atmosphere. So now the question is saying that which combination best describes the composition of gases in the atmosphere? Okay, so the correct answer will be B. So this is the one that best describes because because standard atmospheric because of the standard atmospheric composition. Okay, and then next we will move to question 38, which then says that what is the relationship between density and the attitude at as you move from the troposphere to the thermosphere. Okay, so we know that air gets thinner the higher you go. So air gets thinner the higher you go. So the correct answer will be A, which is that density decreases as altitude increases. And a perfect example is that air gets thinner the higher you go. And then next we'll move to question 39. Next we'll move to question 39. And question 39 says that which statement best describes the troposphere? Which statement best describes the troposphere? Okay, so we can see that this is it is the layer closest to the Earth's surface. So it is the layer closest to the Earth's surface. So the correct answer will be D, which says that the troposphere is the lowest layer of the atmosphere at about 15 kilometers above the Earth. So, like I said, this is the layer closest to the Earth surface. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 40. Which is question 40. So, question 40 says that which letter best describes the main characteristics of the mesosphere in the table below? So, the correct answer will be B. The correct answer will be B. Right? So that's those are the best letters that represents the main characteristics of the mesosphere. Okay, because these are the main features of the mesosphere. And then next we will move to question 41, and then here we can see that the table below shows the results of an investigation on the global warming phenomenon. And then we are told that the plastic bag represented the atmosphere. So now the question is saying that which one of the following statements best describes the effect of global warming? And here we can easily see that this is the greenhouse effect. So the correct answer will be A, which says that an increase in greenhouse gases causes an increase in temperature on Earth, which then causes global warming. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 42. So here we can see that we are given a statement that we need to first read and understand before moving to what the question is requiring from us. So here we are told that bloomery was the first mining technique used to extract iron from its ore by mixing charcoal with iron ore, and when heating the mixture and blowing air in through bellows, and the iron ore is converted to produce iron metals. So the question is saying that which chemical equation represents the above mentioned process, and this is right. So the correct answer will be A. So this is the correct equation. This is the correct equation because carbon removes oxygen from iron ore. Because carbon removes oxygen from iron ore. Okay. And then next, we will move to our next question, which is question 43. So here we can see that there are several methods used in refining minerals. So there are several methods used in refining minerals. And the picture below indicates one of the main methods of refining minerals. And now the question is saying that which method of refining minerals is used in the picture. So if we look at our picture, we can easily see that the method used is electrolysis, which uses electric current to purify metals. So the correct answer will be C because it uses electric current to purify metals. So the correct answer will be C. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 44. So question 44 says that tourists discover glittering stones which they thought contained a certain mineral. So they crushed these stones to separate the minerals from the stone waste. So now we are asked, how would you advise them to get value for their discovery? How would you advise them to get value for their discovery? So the correct answer will be B, by refining metals by cleaning them and distribution. So this would be how we would advise them. So they need to refine the metals by cleaning them and then distribution. Okay. And then next we will move to question 45. So we can see that we are given a statement that we need to first analyze before we answer our question. So we are told that titanium was discovered on the Goloveni coast in Bizana. Mining rights, and then mining rights were granted by the Department of Minerals and Energy, and the decision to mine was suspended after legal interventions because of resistance from the community. So now the question is saying that how would you convince the community of Koloveni regarding the benefits of mining titanium? Okay, so here, if we check our options, we can see that the correct answer will be D, which says that government should own the mines and use profits to improve South Africa. That's when the whole South Africa will benefit and the community will also benefit. Okay, and then next we will move to our next question, which is question 46. So here we are told that there are different methods that can be used to separate minerals. There are different methods that can be used to separate minerals from waste. And the picture below shows the magnetic separation method. So this is the magnetic separation method. Okay, so now we are asked, How does the magnetic separation method works? So magnetic metals stick to the electromagnetic. So that's the easiest explanation. So the correct answer will be D, which says that electromagnet removes the magnetic pieces containing ion from the non-magnetic waste. So the correct answer will be D. And then next, we will move to our next question, which is question 47. So question 47 says that what happens during the main sequence stage of the life of a star, right? So we know that the main sequence is equals to the stable balance of forces. So the correct answer will be A, which says that the main sequence phase is when the pressure of gravity pulling into the star is equal to the energy pulling out of the star. Okay, and then next we will move to our last question for section A, which says that the diagram below shows the different stages of the life of a star as they develop in different ways according to their sizes. Okay, so the question says that what are the stages labeled A, B, and C? A, B, and C. So we can see that A is our white dwarf, and then B is our black dwarf, and then C is our black hole. So the answer will be B. The answer will be B. The correct answer will be B. Okay, and then next we will move to section B. Next we will move to section B. And don't forget, guys, just comment subscribed and comment subscribe. So subscribe to the channel, and then after subscribing, comment subscribed, and also state your province. And then I will share the paper on the comment section so that I can also help you be more prepared. Okay, I will share the link to the paper on your comment. So now let's move to section B. Now let's move to section B. So section B, we are asked to answer all the questions to the best of our ability. We are asked to answer questions to the best of our ability. Okay, so we can see here that we are given figure A and we are also given figure B. And the question says that briefly compare the magnetic field of figure A to that of figure B. So these are magnetic fields. So we can see that they are shaped in a similar way. So if we compare them, we can see that they are shaped in a similar way. We can say they are shaped in a similar way, and that would be our answer. And then next, we will move to question 2. So here we are told that the picture shows the demonstration of the effect of gravitational force on falling objects using a paper and a stone in a classroom. And we are told that both objects fall from the same height and were released simultaneously. So now the question is saying that which object will hit the ground first? Give a reason for your answer. So the correct answer will be stone. The correct answer will be stone, which is less affected by air resistance because it is less affected by air resistance. So the object that will hit the ground first will be the stone. Okay, and then next we'll move to our next question. So here we can see that we are told that the effect of the thickness of a conductor on its resistance was investigated, and we are told that the following materials were used. We are told that the following materials were used. Okay, and we can see here that we have two cells, an ammeter, four copper wires of the same length but different thickness. So now we are told to identify the independent variable in the investigation. So the independent variable will be thickness of wires, will be the thickness of wires, thickness of thickness of wires, because only this variable can change, because only this variable can change. Okay, and then next we'll move to question 4. So here we can see that we are told that the reading of ammeter A1 is 3 A, and the potential difference across the battery is 5V. The potential difference across R1 and R3 is 1.5V each. So now we are told to calculate the potential difference across R2. So to calculate the potential difference, we will take the 5, subtract 1 comma 5, and then subtract 1 comma 5, and the answer will be 2. Okay, and then next we'll move to 5, which says that discuss the advantage of using nuclear power at Gyeobeng nuclear power station. Because the disadvantage would be very energy efficient, because we know that this is energy efficient, so we can say very energy efficient. And then now we'll move to question 6, which says that in which layer of the atmosphere does precipitation take place? So this is the troposphere. Tropos, troposphere. Okay, and then next we'll move to our next question, which is question 7. So question 7 says that describe the formation of sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rock. Describe the formation of sedimentary rock. And we know that sedimentary rock is the deposition of material, is the deposition of materials. Okay, and then now we will move to our last questions, question 8, 9, and 10. So the question says that the ozone layer is the important layer found in the stratosphere, and it absorbs harmful ultraviolet radiation before it reaches the Earth surface. So now, question 8 says that what would you suggest be done to avoid the depletion of the ozone layer? So what would we suggest? We would suggest to reduce harmful gas emissions. Reduce harmful gas emissions. And then question 9 says that name one negative impact of mining operations close to residential areas. Name one negative impact of mining operations close to residential areas. So one negative would be land damage or pollution. So pollution would be a problem. So this is the negative impact: pollution and land damage. And then next, we will move to question 10, which says that the color of a star mostly indicates its temperature and or age. So now we are told to arrange these stars in order of age from the youngest to the oldest by referring to their color. So it will be blue, will be the smallest, then yellow, then red. So blue is the youngest, and then red is the oldest. So this brings us to the end of our question paper. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so that when we post new content, you are the first to be notified. Okay, so that would be the end of our question paper.